there folks, Matt Leger here with Maple Grove Productions. Today I'm going to be showing you how to plant your nut trees. So we got our order in, we got a few actually one pear, 2 apples, some Korean pines, and we have 3 hazelberts here, which if you're not familiar with those, it's a mix of hazelnut and filbert together in one tree. And they're supposed to be very hardy, perfect for zone 5 or colder even. So I'm going to show you how to get those in the ground and share any of the best practices that I picked up about giving your trees the best possible chance of survival and beyond that, thriving even. So first step, just like with the fruit trees, you want to soak those roots a little bit, get that sawdust off of there that they come packaged with. We got ours from hardyfruittrees.ca. They do an excellent job of packaging your trees and to make sure that they arrive safely. They tout that they can stay in the warehouse after they're shipped, they can stay in the warehouse for up to a month and they have no worries whatsoever. These guys really believe in their trees, and that gives me, the customer, a lot of confidence that I've placed in that company. First step, as I said, is to soak. You can soak them up to 24 hours. I would not recommend that, as I mentioned in other videos. We actually had no choice the last time we planted, and we had to have our trees soaked for, it was pushing 36 hours, so you definitely don't want to do that. But they did survive, and they were fine. But ideally, as soon as you take them out of the package, you want to get them straight into the ground. The idea here is to not only keep the roots moist while you're preparing the holes and stuff. Again, you probably want to do that ahead of time. Dig your holes before you even open up the package, but I just can't wait. I'm like a kid at Christmas time. Got to open that package. But also soaking them like this will get that sawdust off of there. You definitely do not want to put your bare root trees or fruit trees, nut trees, whatever, it's all the same, except for the Korean pine, which I'll touch on in another episode. But you don't want to plant your bare root trees with the wood chips still attached. And of course, it goes without saying that they are currently in a dormant state, and we want to keep them that way. So if you get your trees in and you're not ready to put them in the ground, put them in a cool, dark place like in a garage or under your stairs or in a cellar or something like that.
Planting a nut tree is not unlike planting any other tree or fruit tree. Step 1, dig a hole. Step 2, add any optional starter materials to the dirt, such as bone meal. Step 3, mix well, and try not to kill any worms. Get those rocks out of there while you're at it. It's like 3 steps in 1. Step 4, take rocks and chuck them. This step is optional but highly recommended. Step 5, get your stake in there. If you're not using a stake, then skip this step. Be very careful not to break your stake. And if you can't get it in any further because of hard clay or rocks, then you just got to build it up. That'll do. Look at all those beautiful roots. They got tangled up together though. Step 6, line up your tree. Make sure everything will fit nicely, that the roots are deep enough, they're not all squished, and position your plant so that it will grow in the direction that you want it to. I like the angle on it right now. It will mesh with everything else around it. It won't grow into the lilac bush. Step 7, fill your hole back up with the dirt that you pulled out and also the bone meal mix if you decided to do that. On this step you have another option to put in some myco solution or powder if you have that. If not, then just keep filling it up and then water it in. Step 8, water it in. You can optionally have your myco solution in here as well. Make sure it drains real good, which it is. Step 9, lightly press down to get any air pockets out of there. Do not compact the soil, and also try not to hurt any roots that might be sticking up here. This is just grass, so I can get that out of there. Next, you can tie off your tree, making sure that the compost that you'll add later and also the wood chips will not go above the graft point. Paying attention to our max height, leaving room for expansion. Again, use my little squeeze technique if you have to. It's okay from there. Remember to take this off in the spring. Make sure not to have that poke anything. You don't want your wire poking the stem here. Step number 11, add a top dressing of compost. I like to also add a little bit of water at the end of that to get the manure off of the stem. And actually, just a note here, I don't think these guys are grafted at all. I think these are actual HAZELBERT bushes, so yeah, might have to adjust this as well. And the only thing left is step number 12, add your wood chips. Again, making a donut shape with those, and we're done. Try not to get any of your mulch close to the stem. So there you have it. The only other thing left to do is, there's optional steps 13, 14, 15, of course, doing all kinds of things, but again here I like to rinse it off one more time at the end to get any manure and wood chips off of the main stem. But otherwise, that's how you have it. So some ideas for winterizing your trees. A lot of this stuff applies to both fruit trees and nut trees, or your pines in our case. Another optional step you could do as well is add some burlap and a cage to protect that throughout the winter, which is kind of essential if you live in, nasty winter areas. So we do. So we're definitely going to be putting a cage on this thing out of wire mesh and some burlap over top.
Go to sleep and good night. La, 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 la.